Well, we're now joined by Matthew. Hey, Matthew, thanks for being here.
Thanks. Yep, it's awesome to be here.
Now, as you heard your mom share the story of the challenges that she had, how does it make you feel? I know you've heard the story many times. How does that make you feel?
Well, it's almost surreal. Like some of the stuff I actually hadn't heard. It's just I feel like I learn something new every day. I can't believe what my parents went through and just the will they had just to power through it. It's awesome to hear. It makes me feel honored to have such great parents. So.
Yeah, parents that love you deeply.
Absolutely.
Tell me about your life and maybe challenges that you have and how you've overcome it. It sounds like your mom says that you haven't allowed anything to stop you.
No, I don't know. I guess one step at a time, right? Like when I was younger, of course, there were challenges like that. And as I get older, I feel like one of the big challenges is just keeping up with people, right? But what you have to do is you just have to recognize that they're not trying to, they're not trying to leave you out of things or anything like that. They're just doing their best to include you, and you just gotta live life, as you said earlier. It's just, yeah, take part in as much as you can. Like I have a YouTube channel. I like to go swimming, like to play outside, all kinds of stuff. Just take part in everything your friends want to do.
Yeah.
So basically that's what I like to do. So.
And I love that. I love that you're just wanting to live life fully and you're not allowing maybe challenges that you have to stop you from doing that. Tell me about this YouTube channel, because we're watching and we'll probably see some images as we chat of you driving.
Oh, yeah.
And so you found a way around this to make sure that you, like any 19-year-old, you want to get your license, you want to be out on the road independently.
Yeah.
So tell me how this all came about.
Well, it started a few years ago. I was just going to youth group one night, and it kind of dawned on me that I was 16. I was like seeing people driving around to youth.
It dawned on you that you're 16. Oh yeah, I'm 16, I should be driving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, I see these people driving, and I'm like, well, I want to do that. And I've met a couple people who are like amputees, multiple amputees who drive. So I wanted to figure out how to do that. So what we did is we went down to, it's rehabilitation, like at Health Sciences Center in Winnipeg.
Okay.
We went down there and we just looked into how I might drive. We saw some videos of other amputees driving. We showed them some of the people we know and how they go about driving. And yeah, step by step, we slowly figured it out, found different modifications that worked. And ultimately I was driving about a year and a half later.
Wow. And Grace, the heart, I'm just thinking as a mom.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Well, it was very exciting.
Yeah.
But it was also a little bit scary too. But I think for any parent, it would be scary when your child starts driving.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't even want to think about the day that my children say, Mom, can I have the keys to the car? I also want to hear about your passion to share Jesus with others. You talk about that just in your school, in your university, just being a part of wanting to share a good story, and that is the story of Jesus.
Absolutely. Well, I'm part of a group on my University of Winnipeg. I go to the University of Winnipeg.
Yeah.
On the campus there, I'm part of a group called Power to Change. And basically we move into a gospel conversation, first asking students just of their idea on maybe how we can change the world if it's possible, and whether there's a spiritual dimension to change. And then we slowly go into a gospel conversation. And I know it's tough being a university student and there's so many different ideas flying around. And yeah, I just want to show them the light, right? That like, I face challenges, but I see Jesus every day in my life, and I know that they have challenges too, and that they can definitely power through those and get to know Jesus for themselves.
And I think there's something powerful about you sharing the message of Jesus, Matthew, because people could say you've had challenges. Why would you believe that there's a God that loves you? What would be your answer to that?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, my answer would be that just like every step of the way, there's been so many challenges I've gone through, and just God's been there. Just hearing my mom say like how I was born, like it's totally a God thing how they were able to go through with that much courage and just be able to just stick in His word and not give up having faith. And I mean, it's clear there's a God, just all the things I've been able to experience, the fact that I've been able to drive or just have the privilege to do all these things. I had a surgery when I was younger to fix my club foot so that I'd be able to walk. And one story is I was having a surgery because this got infected, and they had to just take a piece of my bone off here, and I was lying there on the operating table, and they were trying to put me to sleep with a needle there with an IV, but they kept, I don't know, my veins are tough to find, so they weren't able to get it. And eventually they wanted to move down to this foot here that I had surgery on when I was little, and I got very nervous about that. So I just prayed, God, just please, I want to give them one more chance here to put it in my hand. They were pretty insistent on the foot, but I'm like, God, just please intervene right now. I pray that you would just help me to just be able to get through this, and that you would, if it's in your will, just to be able to have the IV work in my arm, because I'm really scared. And that really reinforced my faith, because it was like after 5 different tries, all of a sudden, once I prayed, it just happened, just like that, snap of the fingers. That was unbelievable. So yeah, just life experiences, things like that. Yep.
Grace, I'm thinking about a mom watching at home that maybe has just gotten news maybe similar to yours, that their child might be born with some disabilities, or they might have a child right now that has some challenges. What would you say to that mom?
I would say to them, number one, I don't think the doctors always know what exactly the outcome is going to be until that baby is born. Mm-hmm. A lot of times it's an educated guess, like they can sort of say what they think, but oftentimes it's surprising how the outcome is. Mm-hmm. And number two is that if you trust in God, He will help you through any situation. Mm. And I mean, when I think how scared I was before Matthew was born, and I didn't even know if I would be able to handle it or not. But God was right there with us, and He helped us all the way through. And just to trust in God and just let Him help you and guide you and give you wisdom, and to know what kind of decisions to make, with the health care and whatnot. And He will. If you trust in God, He will help you.
Well said. Well, thank you both for being here today.
Thanks.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.